leverage the affordances of ethnography to understand and engage a late industrial world? How particularly can we leverage understanding of how ethnography works, articulated in writing culture, in sync with the 1980s flurry of feminist and post-colonial criticism? What would make ethnography appropriate to the historical conditions in which we find ourselves today? What designs of ethnography should we cultivate? I speak here of leveraging affordances, how things work, appropriateness in design, from within science and technology studies, where many of us love to study technology, understood expansively. Technology from this vantage point is something crafted to enable and direct, route and desire, making new things possible and possible to imagine. And it should, historically speaking, have an inbuilt reflexivity, a study of that which is crafted and of how craft happens and should happen, that occurs alongside the making of the technology. Ethnography can be thought of as a technology in these terms, as a means through which things are enabled. And ethnography, like other technologies, can be designed in different ways, to draw out what is, the state of things, to show how what is at odds with extant theory. Ethnography is cultural critique. Ethnography, like other technologies, can also be designed to challenge and change existing order, provoking new orderings of subjectivity, society, and culture, having what Steve Tyler in writing culture called a therapeutic effect. Thus far, it seems to me, we have made good use of ethnography for the first of these, for understanding and critique. And critique, to be sure, is transformative. I don't at all mean to suggest that ethnography has just been critique. I do, however, think there are new possibilities to pursue, directed at transformation, but without the teleological overtones of activism as usual. Ethnography, I want to suggest, can be designed to bring forth the future anterior that is not calculable from what we now know, a future that surprises. Ethnography thus becomes creative, producing something that didn't exist before, something beyond codified expert formulas. The future is interiorized when the past is folded into the way reality presents itself, setting up both the structures and the obligations of the future. The future inhabits the present, yet it also has not yet come, rather like the way toxics inhabit the bodies of those exposed, setting up the future but not yet manifest as disease, nor even as an origin from which just specific and known disease will come. Toxics, like the future anterior, call upon us to think about determinism, but without the straightforward directives of teleology. Derrida explained that, quote, the future anterior could turn out to be, and this resemblance is irreducible, the time of Hegelian teleology. Indeed, that is how the properly philosophical intelligence is usually administered, in accord with what I would call a dominant interpretation of language, in which the philosophical interpretation precisely consists, end quote. Derrida also suggests other possibilities, describing how the concept of the future anterior could have, quote, drawn us towards an eschatology without philosophical teleology, beyond it in any case, otherwise than it. Derrida writes of the future anterior to think about what both demands and makes possible a future that would not merely be a continuation of the present. Biologist and historian of biology and translator of Derrida, Hans-Georg Reinberger, describes how a future anterior is pursued in science through the building of experimental systems. These systems are systems carefully designed to work in a way that generates surprises. Experimental systems are not testing devices designed to confirm what is already known. They are designed to allow for the emergence of questions that could not be asked before. Ethnography, too, can be designed in such a way, partly because ethnography, historically, by definition, perhaps, certainly is articulated in writing culture, has affordances that call for openness to what is foreign, other, not yet articulable. It tolerates, indeed cultivates, open-endedness. Ethnography also has a record and habit of shifting in concert with the times, responsive to both historical conditions and internal critique of the sort writing culture offered.